Today we are talking about part 3 or pillar 3 of the emotional intelligence in workplaces training that I use as part of that framework. So we've covered pillars 1 and 2. Pillar 1 was self-awareness, which was more or less understanding your triggers and understanding what you respond to and how you respond to it. Pillar 2 was self-management, which is then what you do with that knowledge and how you show up in that knowledge and how you then show up at work. So what do you do about it? And pillar 3 is social awareness. So basically, it's social skills for adults. I feel like we teach children social skills really well, generally. We teach dogs social skills really well, generally. There's a highlight and an emphasis on these things. But once we reach adulthood, our social skills, they seem to be limited to learning like sales and networking techniques, but not so much in which is all to get something out of another person or to get our message across and everything. And there is a purpose for that. There's a place for that. I totally get it. But at the same time, it doesn't talk about genuinely connecting. Some may say that it's about genuinely connecting and coming to understand. And maybe there might be some trainings or schools of thought out there that are starting to come around more to talking about the importance of understanding your client and what they want and their needs in order to be an effective salesperson. But when it comes to connecting, especially when we don't have something to sell, or when it's not about selling, when it's about connecting to create a more united front, maybe we're all on the same team in a business, right? We're creating a united front to then get the job done. And how do we do that? So social awareness or social skills includes things like empathy. That's a real one. Empathy does not mean taking on another person's problem as your own, and it also doesn't mean bullshitting care either. So we talk about empathy and we work through empathy in this training, but as far as the purposes of this video is looking at empathy as a social awareness and social skill. Eye contact is another one. A lot of people are afraid to make eye contact, or they don't know how to make eye contact, or what is enough, or what's too little, or they're just not really aware of it, or they don't know the how or the what. So eye contact is something that's really important in how we connect with another. Too much is definitely too much. It can give off the wrong vibe, a particularly intense vibe, or a sense of, let's just say it's too much. But too little also doesn't help, because it makes the other person feel a distrust, because if they feel like that you have something to hide. So how do we cultivate and find a good level of eye contact, but also be comfortable with that? Other things in social skills might include languaging, which again is a big part of this training as well. Languaging and not holding back and not manipulating words, but how do we choose our language in a way that actually represents what we are really trying to say, or what we are really trying to understand, which is really important, because so much toxicity in workplace culture, I feel like, can come down to miscommunication or misunderstanding and a lack of actually asking the questions. So languaging is important, listening is obviously important, and also just a sense of organizational awareness, being service oriented, and a group effort. So in a workplace, there is a group effort involved. emotional intelligence starts with you, which is why I start with self-awareness and move into self-management, because we can't jump to the rest without actually having a clue of what is going on for us and actually doing something about it. However, when it comes to social skills, you've heard it, there is no I in team, and we need to learn how to become a group of individuals in a cohesive way that works better together. So it's not about losing our identity, and it's not about losing our value or being seen, or lack of being seen, but it is about how do we then, as individuals, find our way into a shared value system, or at least an understood value system, and communicate in ways and language ourselves in ways that is with the purpose of intention and understanding and curiosity, versus the complete and utter lack of, just because we have a job to do and we're trying to get it done and they're not doing their part. So looking at social skills, hopefully this gives you an idea of how social skills might play a role in your life, in your workplace, or in other relationships that you have as well, and looking at those elements of social skills and feeling into where you might be at with each of them as well, because that is really important too.